Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Emerge Wrestling Showcase. Today, suffice to say, I am out of the studio and I'm here in the great outdoors. Why? Because Emerge 14 trilogy unfortunately was postponed a month, so we had to figure out some way to fill a couple of weeks. And next week we will be back with our prediction show because we are headed into Emerge 14 here pretty soon. But in the meantime, I have gotten a hold of some Emerge wrestlers, and I made sure that today you got to see the Emerge talent in ways that you never got to see them before. And today we have a packed show, hopefully one of the most entertaining things I've ever had the opportunity to work on. So sit back and relax. First up, we have the Queen of Mean, Niki Mariani, who I asked her if she had anything to say, and frankly, we all know that Nikki Mariani always has something to say, so let's go ahead and take you now to what she had to say.
Hello, Emerge Wrestling. It's me, Niki Mariani, the Queen of Mean, and I'm here to address some of those nasty messages I've been getting from you fans. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just say this. You don't have to like me. That's fine. I don't like you either. But one thing is, you will respect me. That's one thing you will do. And if you want to go ahead and follow the rest of the lemmings, the rest of the sheep, and say nasty things about me, one of which, the biggest one you guys like to throw out is that I'm fat, let me let you in on a little secret. A little something that I like to live my life by, and maybe you should do the same. A body is like a paycheck. An ample figure is always better.
Thank you, Nikki, I guess. Now, one of the things that I've always loved about Emerge is that it's so versatile. I mean, from the oldest to the youngest, Emerge provides a fantastic night of entertainment for anybody, and I wanted to reflect that on this show. And there's no other way to do so except for me going ahead and contacting Emerge's resident child, Cole Radrick. Now, Cole Radrick, as we know, is virtually an infant, and you, as the Emerge fan base, often make fun of him for staying up past his bedtime. So I figured there would be no better way to integrate Cole Radrick into this than making him read a bedtime story to all of you. So go ahead, tuck your kids into bed, get ready, because it's time for Radrick Reads.
Hello. For those who do not know, I am the last true fighter, Cole Radrick. I am not a child. I am not the last true bedwetter. And I do not, and I repeat this, I do not have a bedtime. I am 18 years old. I am one of the youngest but most dangerous stars in Emerge Wrestling. And about a week ago, I got an email to my business account saying I had to read a good night poem or a good night story. I didn't have a choice in the matter. They said I had to do this. Because Emerge Wrestling thinks it's really funny to mock me, mock Sage Phillips, mock Jeremy Hadley, because the Hellfire Club is taking over Columbus, and they think that taking little nitpicking shots at us is going to stop us. But it's not. So you want me to read Good Night Moon? Fine. But just know I may or may not have edited this for my pleasure. Good Night Moon. This is stupid. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon as big as Donnie Idol's ego, and a picture of a cow or an average female occupant of the town of Columbus, Indiana, jumping over the moon. And then there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs, and 2 little kittens, and a little toy house, and a young mouse. This is ridiculous. I am not a child. I am 18. I should not have to play these reindeer games. Do you think this is funny, Emerge? And a comb, and a brush, and a mouthful of mush. Like mush, what's going to happen to Donnie Idol when I beat in his mouth on May 7th? Mouthful of mush. Makes sense. And a quiet old lady who was whispering, hush. Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, female occupant of Columbus, Indiana, jumping over the moon. Good night, light. And the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Good night, kittens. And good night, mittens. Good night, clocks. Good night, socks. Good night, little house. Good night, mouse. Why am I doing this? Good night, comb. Good night, brush. Good night, nobody, or the equivalent of people that actually believe in Donnie Idol. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady whispering hush. Like the hush of the silence of the crowd when I beat in Donnie Idol's brains, and when Sage Phillips breaks every limb and the neck of Donnie Idol on May 7th in Columbus, Indiana at the DSI gym. Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. This is ridiculous. You guys wonder why I choose to be a bad guy? Reasons like this. Reasons like this. Because I can't be taken seriously no matter how many people I beat up, no matter how many people I punch in the face, no matter how many teeth I kick in. I'm not taken seriously. And this might be a little funny hoo-ha for the rest of you. But this is lighting a fire inside of me. And it's going to ignite on May 7th when I drag the carcass of Donnie Idol around the DSI gym. Tonight, it may have been Good Night Moon. May 7th is Good Night Donnie Idol. Excuse me. I'm really tired.
Good night, sleep tight, sweet dreams tonight. Good night, I love you.
And good night, Cole Radrick.
Hello, this is Richey Stevens, and I just wanted to remind you guys to get all of your Emerge merchandise at emergewrestling.com. We have t-shirts, DVDs, and our tickets are available for Emerge events. You don't want to miss out on these awesome deals. Check them out.
As you can see, obviously we're here filming in Mill Race on location, and right here, if you look behind me, you see the entire lake, the entire pond has overflown, and I wanted that in the background of this particular shot because that reminds me of the Emerge fan base right now. You see, unfortunately, we had Emerge 14 get delayed, get postponed, and we were already filled to the brim with excitement as it was, but now that excitement is overflowing because in just a couple of weeks we are going to see some of in my opinion, the greatest matches that Emerge has ever put on. And in that is a match that we've seen a few different times now, but always gets more and more interesting. Khris Kaliber versus Jeremy Hadley. And I contacted Khris Kaliber to ask if he would be interested in doing an interview, and he was all for it. So I had the opportunity to head to the Kaliber household in front of their shrine to the Walking Dead and interview him. We're going to touch on a lot of subjects, including Emerge 14, just history in the wrestling business. It's a fantastic interview, and I can't wait for you to see it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and cut to it. Well, here we are. I'm here interviewing the current Emerge Outbreak champion, Khris Kaliber, as promised. We're here in front of the Walking Dead wall in the Kaliber household.
Yeah. Pretty impressive Walking Dead wall.
So. Yeah, I just got here, and it's been an exciting weekend in wrestling. WrestleMania was a couple days ago, and boy, that was an event.
It was something,
that was
man.
A thing
it was
that
something.
happened. When the one and the die. Oh,
well, the thing with the thing.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
We're recording this before WrestleMania, and, but no, I just wanted to take this opportunity to come here and kind of talk to you, get people to get to know Khris Kaliber a little bit more. So let's just tell us a little bit about you in wrestling, as far as, kind of your story, I guess.
My story. I was a little punk kid running around Columbus, Indiana, hitting up local wrestling shows like everybody else is, and I was a big fan, hitting up local promotions that I won't name, but ran into a guy by the name of Roger Blade and a guy by the name of Brad Lehman. Found out Brad Lehman went to high school the same time I did. We ran into each other, started talking, started training. That was kind of my little induction into it. It was, I was just a fan, just like everybody else. Roger trained me for a year down in North Vernon with Jason Harding, referee Jason Harding in WWE right now. He was there with me. Ricky Ruckus came in the year after I did. Our whole little group started together. Did that, and then just kind of did my whole paying the dues thing, traveling the road, doing, some pretty good things for a little punk kid from Columbus, Wrestled most of my heroes growing up, wrestled against Jake Snake Roberts and, Matt Cross and Colt Cabana, did some good things, so... Yeah, it's been a blast so far.
So, just over a year ago now, and it's crazy that it's already been over a year.
Emerge is nuts.
But Emerge started, and you were one of the first names on the card. So how did that happen? How did you make your way to Emerge?
Basically, I was done wrestling at the time, and I was doing the 9 to 5, and had a new kid and all that. We were settling down, I had a pretty bad knee injury in 2005, so I kind of winded down a little bit. And Dave Dynasty called me. He's like, "Hey, man, we're starting this new company. We think it's going to be big. We want you there. So we want to put Ricky Ruckus versus Khris Kaliber on the first card." I was like, all right. And that's all I needed to hear. I'm in. Let's do it.
Right.
When and where. So, and it's as simple as that. A little phone call got me there.
So, I want to, because obviously you've done a lot of the wrestling over the years. What is unique about Emerge to you?
It's the promotion of the deal. Those guys, they're in advertising and bringing in new faces. They find the young, hungry talent that is willing to go out there and literally kill themselves to entertain people. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the promotions around, they fall kind of on the, well, I'm a veteran. No, we're going to do that this way because it works. It's safe and it's simple, and to an extent, there's a place for that. But most of the guys in Emerge, man, they want to top each other from the first match on the card to the main event. Like, in my opinion, there's 6 to 7 main events a show. Mm-hmm. There's no opening match or semi-main event.
It's like we go to do the predictions showcase before every show here on youtube.com/Emerge Pro Wrestling. And, you got to throw that
plug.
in.
If Mick Foley taught anybody anything,
exactly.
Cheap plugs and cheap
but
pops.
they're always the first couple times the question came up at the end of the show, it's, oh, okay, so what match are you most looking forward to? And we just ended up stopped doing that because it's crazy. And like, you look at the next one, you know, Merge 14 trilogy coming up on May 7th. Which is actually funny because we're filming this on the day that Emerge was supposed to take place. But you look at that card top to bottom and it's like,
it's just solid all the way through. And that's how it is month to month. It's just solid card after solid card after solid card. You know?
Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, we're topping the last one. We're not going to top this one. Oh, yep, we're doing that next month. It's, when I walked into Emerge, it was, I'll never forget, and we were talking about it a little bit off camera too. The first night that I worked was Emerge 9 in Seymour, and that night was one of the epic showdowns between Khris Kaliber and Jeremy Hadley, and I just, you know, the energy walking into Emerge and the fact that Emerge outdrew what most places could do, and it was on Sunday.
Right.
You know, it's like I always tell people, I'm in independent wrestling. In independent wrestling, it is, it's a real coup if you can draw 250 fans. Like, that's big in indie wrestling, and Emerge blows that out of the water every month.
Month to month. And I think that show was kind of a down crowd for us because it was on a Sunday.
And it still outdrew most places.
It was still 300 to 400 people. But in my opinion, I think wrestling's on an upswing again. I mean, you got the resurgence of guys that are really talented, girls that are really talented.
Yeah, I mean, literally, as we're sitting here filming this, NXT TakeOver is playing in the background, and Bayley's making her entrance, and like that match last night, and like you see where people are starting to find a real passion for it again, which is awesome.
Wrestling again. It's getting away from sports entertainment and getting back to wrestling again, and it's emotion, and you know, it's passion driven. You can see it when people perform, and that's what Emerge brings. And you know, I'm not just saying it because I'm wrestling for Emerge and working for Emerge.
And
you know,
I mean, obviously, when you know we say, you know, kind of outdrawing, we don't wish anything bad on anybody.
No, I want everybody to have them.
But it says something, I think, about Emerge. You know.
Yeah, they know they're getting a good product. It's just how it is, and I wish every independent company could draw 300, 400, 500 people.
Yeah, and like, I mean, we had just a few months ago, we had Anthony Totelli and Kyle Maverick come in, and now, you know, they performed so well, they're in a best of 3 series for the next few shows.
I'm looking forward to that. As a fan, I'm looking forward to those two.
Oh, my Lord. It's, so back to a little bit of what has happened in the past couple of months. We had the opportunity to showcase you on Showcase for the first time, and we hadn't gotten the opportunity to put a title match on Showcase yet because the guy who directs our programming, Dave,
that Dan Dynasty guy,
Dan Dynasty, Delicious Dave,
Dave. I heard he got a new piercing today. I'm excited to see that. So it was on Facebook. They went and got piercings, so I want to see what it got.
Should be interesting. But no, your match against Conniving Kenneth James was on there, and I want to talk maybe a little bit before we sort of get into what happened in that match about your style a bit, because you're very unique, and you know the way, and I've broken it down on Showcase after Showcase where it's like a lot of times you have a size and power advantage over the opponents you're facing, but at the same time you're very, you know, you're quick and you're agile. How did that sort of...
It kind of came along with when I was younger. I was a lot smaller, you know. I was one of the little flippy guys, you know, doing my thing. So I did a lot of high flying stuff. Took a lot of stuff from like Brian Pillman, Owen Hart, you know, doing that sort of thing. And then I shattered my kneecap. and then
let's like this wrestling the style might be a bit insane,
right? And so we scaled it back a little bit. I learned, you know, watched more bigger guys, a little heavier style, a little more of a strong style type style. Obviously, I'm a fan of the strong style. But yeah, like seeing Samoa Joe come out and do his thing, and it's like I just kind of blended them all together. It's basically a mixture of all the people I'm a fan of, all their styles, and just kind of did my own thing with it.
And it's like, seeing you for the first time, people don't know what to expect,
Right.
because you're in there and you're playing the power game, and then was that a senton bomb?
Yeah, I'm pulling out some older tricks that I've had. There's more to come. Emerge is it makes me want to do more. It makes me want to push the envelope a little bit more.
Because I mean, when you're in a title match, so you're going to be probably semi-main event, right? And so you're following Kyle and Anthony Totelli.
I got all these young guys that are just going balls to the wall.
Yeah, and I mean, this card is so stacked. We got the tag team championship is going to be on the pre-show.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's 8-Vic and
Guns and Aggression.
Guns and Aggression.
Yeah.
Luke Lawless, and that's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
man.
it is, and that's the pre-show.
Pre-show.
Yeah, and it's like, because I was like, okay, so this card is really great, and then we unfortunately had to postpone the event, and now the card is better somehow.
Better than what it was. That's crazy.
But at Emerge 13, Outbreak, of course, you successfully defended your title against Kenneth James. That being said, anywhere Kenneth James is, there's controversy.
Right. Yeah.
And we took a look at it on the replay. His foot was under the rope when you pinned him, and he is not very happy about the way things went down. So.
Understandably, I can understand that, but my thing is, my job's to win the match. My job isn't to make sure the referee sees, everything that goes on. So, but that being said, Dave Dynasty, if Kenneth James wants another shot at me, book it. I'll fight anybody anywhere. And we beat the crap out of each other in that match.
did.
And I'll do it again. Gladly. It's make it happen. If he wants another shot, bring him on.
But obviously that shot not going to happen next month, because next month is what I would say, because, and we go back to my first show where I was working the camera at ringside, just cramping for 3 hours. And like, I remember the previous match ended and everybody knew that you and Hadley were up next, and all of a sudden it was almost like when they lower the cage or the cell in WWE.
Right, what's coming.
And it was almost as if around me I could hear dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And of course, that night, unfortunately, you didn't get to wrestle to a finish because Hadley exited the match early. But this has been one of the craziest stories that I've seen unfold with you and Jeremy, and just how much you two just... It's insane the lengths that you guys go to.
It's personal.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly personal. He's attacked your family, including your lovely wife, Karma, which, speaking of which, thank you for the Pepsi, Miss Karma.
Very welcome.
And so talk a little bit about how things progressed with you two, I guess.
Hadley was brought into the group with me and Icon. So we were together at the time. We were doing our thing. We were running roughshod over, Emerge, put Ricky Ruckus down, that whole thing. I get hurt, hairline fracture and an ankle. I miss a show. Find out Icon dropped me.
Right.
Now he's exclusively with Hadley. Okay, bad enough. All right, it's a business. I can understand that. Then got a shot at JD Mariani. Going at it, JD Mariani beats me. He's a tough guy to beat. Wife's in the ring checking on me, doing her thing. Hadley comes in, DDTs her. Mm-hmm. No reason for it. None. He's
just Jeremy Hadley.
He's just, for lack of a better term, he's just a dick. Mm-hmm. So he DDTs my wife, which I'm not really worried about my wife being in the ring with guys. She can handle herself. That's not a problem. But it was just taking advantage of a situation.
Yeah, and taking advantage of anybody who's helpless and not expecting it, male or female,
Yeah, it's bad enough, if he would have done it face to face, but she can hold her own, so I'm confident face to face she'd be fine. But her back's turned.
We saw that a few months later when she pile drove him into the canvas.
Yeah, busted out the karma driver, as we like to call it.
Okay. I'll have to put that in my notes.
Yeah, put that in your notes for next time. But yeah, she can handle herself against guys. I'm okay with that. that's the way she was trained. But it's just gotten personal, and it's just like, he makes fun of my kid. He makes fun of my wife. He puts his hands on my wife. You know, you want to make fun of me? Fine. You know, I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself. But yeah. And then he ran. The first match we had, he ran.
And I was like, I'm sitting there with a camera, and of course I'm worried about getting my shots and stuff, but I was really enjoying the match as a fan too, and then he just leaves.
Yeah, he knew he was beat. He can't beat me. Jeremy Hadley cannot beat me one-on-one. It won't happen. And it's not to take anything away from Jeremy Hadley. I have a lot of emotion and anger on my side. You know, he doesn't care about family. He doesn't care about friends. The Hellfire Club, he don't care about them.
Yeah, which like the Hellfire Club is an interesting thing because I have seen, you know, what they do. I was right there firsthand. Cole Radrick threatened to kill my entire family twice in the span of one night.
But he's 12, so it's okay. You know, no offense to Cole Radrick. I like Cole Radrick and I love Sage Phillips. They are really good young talents. They're just misguided.
Yeah, and which you would know everything about being misguided by Icon.
He talks a good game.
Because, like, I remember I was a couple shows in, and I was working the second camera one night, which working the second camera basically means make sure the camera stays on.
Right.
So I was helping out in other areas as well, and somebody was talking to me, and it was you and Simon, and like the crowd was just so into it, and somebody said, oh yeah, when Khris Kaliber came in, they hated him. And I was like, what? Because I walk in and, you know, Emerge is such a great environment to be in, and you were like one of the most welcoming people, and like you're so nice, and I couldn't even, but you know, you see Sage Phillips and Cole Radrick kind of going down that same road that you went down, and I've seen you, you know, on Facebook, you're very complimentary of Cole Radrick, and I think we all agree he's got the world ahead of him if he just focuses. But I don't know. This is
it's nothing personal against those kids. They're, like I said, they're just misguided by Icon. What they don't realize is he will hold them back. He's about the money, so his moneymaker is Jeremy Hadley. He's the guy in the title pictures. He's the guy, you know, doing the things. So Cole Radrick and Sage Phillips will take a back seat to Jeremy Hadley. Well, you've seen it in the Outbreak tournament. Yeah. With Cole and Hadley in the same match. You know, it just, you take a back seat. You're not the main guy.
Cole, I mean, for a while there, beat up Donnie Idol.
Right, yeah.
And then Jeremy just walked in and got the pin.
Yeah, Cole is a phenomenal talent. And Sage is right there with him. I mean, but you look at where they came from and who trained them, they're going to be good. Yeah. So, you know, and Hadley came from the same place. Jeremy Hadley came from a Billy Rock school. They're phenomenal talents. I don't take anything away from Jeremy Hadley's talent. I just want to kick him in the face. You know? Yeah. And that'll end anybody.
Yeah, and I think it might be interesting with the Hellfire Club to see months down the road once, you know, Sage and Cole get some experience behind them, and I think they might realize kind of what's going on. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Of course, pure conjecture from me. You and Jeremy have gone at each other so many times, and the story of you and Hadley is so entwined with the story of Emerge, I guess, because it was right there at Emerge 14. What can we expect? Because you got it almost seems like you guys have done it all.
But sadly, we've only been in the ring twice.
Right. I mean,
this is the third one. Obviously, this would be trilogy. So, Emerge trilogy. There it is. You know, the first match he ran. Second match, I beat him for the Outbreak title. Yeah. And now here's our third one. Yeah, with a little help.
Karma says off camera.
Which, to any of the fans that thinks it's cheating, she never would have done anything had he not put his hands on her first.
Right, and of course,
it's all about karma.
And of course, Karma going for the women's championship on that night too, which I'm looking.
That's going to be a good one. Yeah, I may not have her at ringside for my match. She's got to get ready. And her and Kelly Klein know each other well, you know. But
Which
you got to be ready.
Those are some of the
hard
most
ones.
interesting matches. Yeah, when you know the other person so well.
You go back and forth, and sadly, I feel like that with me and Hadley, that we know each other so well. You know, and this will be our third match, but I feel like we've wrestled each other a million times. Like I know what he's going to do before he does it.
Yeah, right when I was talking about. You guys have gone against each other so many times, whatever. Like, it's only been 2, but it felt like you guys were so familiar with each other, you know?
It just, I don't know. I think on this one, it's the level of violence has to go up. We have to increase it. Because if not, he knows what I do. I know what he does.
Yep.
I got to bring something new.
So what do you think right now about the state of Emerge? Where is Emerge at? And then... You could probably tell by the way that I asked that question that it leads into another question. But...
Right. I think Emerge is at a good place. I think what they're doing business-wise is a good thing. They're trying to expand. They're reaching out. You know, they do a lot of stuff with the communities that they're involved with, which is awesome that they do that. And I think it's just going to keep getting bigger. You know, we're going to have to find bigger buildings here soon. I mean, we keep selling out what we're at. We might need to move to a little bit bigger.
I will say, too, speaking as somebody who has been halfway between part of and a fly on the wall in the discussions of expansion and stuff, where, you know, I throw my 2 cents in every once in a while. Sometimes they ask me about
that's
stuff.
what's good about Emerge, is they listen to everybody.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, you and your partner, you can voice your 2 cents, and if it's a good idea, they'll roll with it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And it's interesting to see, like, the question isn't, you know, because... you know, a lot of times if you do a benefit show or something, then you get, you know, more people come to the show. So a lot of times the promotion ends up making more money or whatever.
Right.
But it's not that discussion
No.
I've seen. But, you know, between Dave and the board and all of them, where it's... how can we help the community? No, it's about helping the community, and it's legitimately about that. And that's why I think as Emerge moves into the future, I mean, you hear it say all the time, the sky's the limit.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's really the most fitting thing you could say right now.
I mean, I see Emerge in the next couple of years pushing to what Ring of Honor was its 3rd and 4th years in. I mean, they were building a bigger fan base, drawing 500-600 people at a show, sometimes 1,000 people. I think we can hit that 1,000 mark. Honestly,
oh, yeah, especially, you know, because there are plans in place, hopefully, to do another downtown show this year, which you, unfortunately, you missed the first one.
Yeah, I missed the first one, yeah.
That was when you got dropped like yesterday's newspaper.
Right, yeah, that was a bad day.
Actually,
bad week.
Yeah, that was the first Emerge event I was at.
Well,
yeah.
Well, sorry you had to miss me.
And... but yeah, I mean, I see things going in a great direction, and the future starts with now.
Right.
And now we're in the build up for Emerge 14 trilogy, which, you know, stat card DSI Gym in Columbus on May the 7th. And obviously you and Jeremy are going against each other. Plus we got Apollo and JD.
That's gonna be good.
Carmen Kelly. We got the best of 3 tournament kicking off.
You got the handicap match, the Hellfire Club against Donnie Idol, Sage and Cole. That's going to be a good one.
That kind of goes along the lines of what we were talking about earlier. But do you have anything to say right now heading into your match with Jeremy?
Columbus is in for a treat. I mean, it's not going to be a sweet treat. It's going to be a little bloody. It's going to be a little violent. Columbus is in for a treat. They're going to see something they have never seen from me before. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to, bust out the surprise right here and ruin it. The fans will know it when they see it. Trust me.
Are you going to paint yourself like Finn Balor?
Unfortunately, I don't know anybody that has that artistic ability. That's a pretty intricate paint job that he does. I don't think I could stand there for 4 hours and let somebody paint me like he does.
Yeah. Either way, though, glad to get the opportunity to sit down with you and talk. And, of course, we're, kind of trying out this new format for Showcase since, I'll be honest with you, we had to fill a few weeks, and so we're trying this out. This has been an interesting show. We've had Nikki talking about what Nikki talks about. We've had Cole Radrick reading Goodnight Moon.
Oh, man. That kid. We need to get him on a good path. That kid,
Like, it's only
the
going
last
downhill.
Starfighter, Cole Radrick. We got to get him on a good path.
Either way, though, this has been another edition of Emerge Wrestling Showcase. My name is Casey Johnson. This right here, current Outbreak champion, Khris Kaliber. And let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know if you'd like more things like this to happen in the future. And we'll see you next week.